Namaste, Galactic family, and welcome back to my channel, Indigo Angel. It has been a couple weeks since I have been on YouTube, and that is for a big reason, guys. This winter solstice was absolutely so immense, off the charts, radial, nuclear, high photonic, atomic codes, the higher humanity codes, the 22222 codes. Okay, those are coming in to the body at this time with an immensity of influxes, and everybody's DNA is currently re-encoding at this time. And so I have not been able to get on. I have been integrating these higher light codes and density in the body. It is changing everything in my body and everybody else's body that's going through this physical ascension to function non-linearly and more vibrationally, more energetically, more quantumly, feeling and experiencing energy on the most subtlety levels, transitioning from linear realities that are dictated by our heads, our logical minds, and shifting us into the highest consciousness at this time. Okay. Now, when we went through the winter solstice in Uluru, we were powering up that grid on the planet. Okay, the Stargate sites themselves are very open at this time. They are very, very open, very expanded at this time. We are starting to access the realms and spheres and possibilities and worlds of lunar stargates. Okay, so we are having concepts of lunar consciousness versus solar consciousness. Okay, this is happening through the major split of the timelines that has occurred. So you know when you see that picture of, and I'll have this picture up here, this picture here with the 3D and the 5D separating farther and farther apart. Okay, so this is kind of what's happening at this time, is we're having a major where the timelines have split off, and they're actually going farther and farther in each polarity, in each direction. This is happening in every single density. This is happening in every single dimension. This is happening in every single reality plane on this earth. This is polarized within the polarity of the timelines themselves. It's the equal and opposite action for every reaction that's happening within a parallel within that perception, and fragments off into more polarization. This is happening in the timelines because the realities, the alternate realities, they're beginning to shift vibrationally. This is happening, okay, and a lot is coming up from this. A lot is coming up from this. Have you guys heard of the Achamoth? Okay, so this is a part of the Christos Sophia fallen consciousness. It's called the Achamoth. I looked this up in the Ascension Glossary. Okay, this is the subsequent impregnated creations that are enmeshed in the negative form body in the fallen aspects of the earth. Okay, these are the Dark Mother templates. This is Tiamat, the portions of Tiamat that are trapped inside the material realms of creation. Okay, as this greater split from 3D keeps splitting 3D to 5D, many are hearing the call from the great above, and many are very accelerated off these high atomic codes, these high radial codes, and they are up in the highest timelines, and they're not able to see what's happening on the lower timelines. Okay, if they have fragmented off into the higher consciousness at this time, they cannot see the lower realms. Okay, it is a good thing because they're riding the highest timelines and they are staying high vibrational on those highest timelines. But it is not a good thing because there is a disassociation from the parallels that are playing out in the lower realms and worlds. Okay, this is causing mass disassociation, and people are fragmenting off into the higher realms, and they are unable to associate to the lower realms. Now, those who hear the call from the great below, they are entering into the dismantling of the timelines in 3D. They are entering into clearing major planetary Akashic records. Okay, so It's an intensity of emotions. It is an intensity of atomic energy in the body. Those who have split off into the grade below are going through the greatest DNA recoding at this time because of several things. The fragmented Tiamat energy in the lower realms. Also, the war over consciousness at this time. Okay, this is all happening regardless of what is playing out in the scandemic. This is happening regardless of what's playing out in the world at this time. This is happening. Okay, this is happening at such an immense scale within the ascension process of what reality looks like on this earth. This has nothing to do with the pandemic. This never did. This has everything to do with the war on consciousness. These are artificial timelines versus organic timelines. These are lunar consciousness timelines versus solar consciousness timelines. These are galactic invasions of positive agendas and negative versus negative agendas. This is 5D consciousness versus 3D consciousness warfare. Okay? The split is forever splitting during this time of the year because of the immensity of the codes that are coming in. Everybody's DNA is re-encoding in the timelines. There are alternate realities, and we can shift these vibrationally anytime we desire. But it does take me shifting my own vibration to a higher consciousness one. Opening the heart more, transforming, transcending, recreating a whole new program, okay? All of these programs are collapsing at this time. All of the old 3D Earth programs are collapsing at this time. That's all I have to say. They are collapsing, and it is taking place within the Dark Mother template. These opened up the gates here to these Achamoth creations, to the Dark Mother template, to the portions of Tiamat that are trapped within the lower realms and worlds below 3D. I'm talking 2D, I'm talking 1D, and parts of her do exist outside the house of God. Okay? These are negative forms that are trapped in the masculine and in the feminine, and they are creating the gender misery programs, gender identity misery programs. Okay? Where masculines and feminines do not know who they are, or what they are, or what their role is in their gender identity. Okay? Wounded in places that they cannot even identify in their consciousness. These wounds are held in the fallen body parts of the dormant portions of the earth. The lower spirits here are parasitic and archontic, but these are parts of her fragmented consciousness, and she has no control over the use or their direction that they're going. So when these splits are happening in the Earth's timeline, okay, she's fragmented into the Earth elemental matter, and she's fallen in the trapped matter. Okay, so we have a lot of people hearing the call from the great below. They're trapped in the dark mother matter at this time. They're trapped in the split of the timelines. Okay, this time of year is about balancing the polarities at this time. It's accepting polarity to bring it into wholeness. Okay. Now, on an atomic level, in each one's body, emotions will be amplified. Judgments will be amplified. Okay, these are upon yourself. Your own judgments are punishing you right now. That's what's happening. If you split off into the 3D. Because if you've split off into the 3D, you are in 2D realities right now. Barely keeping your head in 3D. So what you have to realize is if you have anything inside of you at this time that is not resolved, where you don't function from unity consciousness, love, it is going to come up in your physical reality for you to see it and for you to have to work through it inside of you. To have to figure out how to come from a place with no ego and without pointing a finger and without making the other person look wrong. On a collective level, if another person seems bad or narcissistic or whatever it is, it's because you hold the program inside yourself in your physical body. And I'm only saying these things because this is what we have to transcend at this time. Those who split off and heard the call from the grade below, okay? If you went down into 2D, if your crystalline body, your plasma body, restructuralized and condensed down to carbon, okay? This means that your DNA has re-encoded, the geometric structure has collapsed, and you are going down into the alchemical shift of higher atomic numbers, essentially, in your matter body. And therefore, you are to feel things, everything. Okay? Higher atomic, nuclear, radial, light energy breaks down the cellular structure. Okay? It breaks down the body. So many of you may have accessed the lower dimensions when we came upon the Allure Gate. Like I said, I accessed it myself. Okay? That's how I know. Everything that I'm saying because I'm experiencing it. And I can see collectives, and I can see where they are. Okay? Gaia has moved collectives into Akashic clearings right now. That's what this split is about. So this is clearing through intense emotional outbursts, atomic activations, new codes, an immense amount of radioactive activation that are cosmically charged rays. This is going straight to any separation that you hold in your body, and it's breaking down that entire reality and the constructs that you hold in your cells. Your body will go weak. Okay, you may be weak. You may be feeling like you can barely get up and get a shower and get something to eat and focus on what you need to focus on for the day. Okay, this is how radio light at these higher atomic 2222 codes re-encode the geometrics as they completely collapse the geometrics that you were running, okay, the biometrics of the body, and it makes your body go weak. It makes your cellular structure break down, and it targets our immune system, our interpersonal relationships, our defense systems, and it is because our whole body is becoming a Stargate system, okay? The upgrades came through, and we are now at higher humanity codes. This is pushing everybody into a new state of being because the old state was no longer working. The human ego is being dismantled at this time. Okay? If you were not aligned to purity, if you were not aligned to yourself at the deepest level of integrity from within you, if the constructs of the realities you had built were not based upon that, okay? That's dismantling. The higher 2222 codes cannot come in and correct the collective. They come in, and they come in through your vertical ascension column, and they come through you. And you are the basis of all change that must happen collectively. Stop incepting false phantom timelines. Stop incepting dualistic timelines. Okay? You are the resistance against polarity, against the imbalance that is playing out right now. It's only going to ever increase, and it's probably going to keep increasing until March, people. This is how the planetary games roll. This is how the astrological alignments roll. Okay? The human ego is dismantling. Humans don't support. Humans don't contribute, and humans only do these things unless they want something. Okay? Human intentions are not typically pure. Humans can't master the physical because they don't understand how realities are constructed. Okay? They get caught up in which processes and phases of embodiment that they're in. It doesn't matter. Okay? We are in technically all of them at the same time. Okay? Humans hear words, they think in linear thoughts, and they have a fear of conspiracy theories. Okay? This is clearing. The inception in your mind is clearing. The collective experience is clearing. The Akashic records are clearing. Everything is shifting to, well, guess what? Now we have to be in a constant state of observation. Okay? We're working to achieve this for all of us, to emit light and to share. Knowing you will receive everything you need, every person has to step up and do their part in letting go of all of the control and shift their focus off of the physical world. We need to trust the universe and quit allowing inception. Repeat, quit allowing inception. All your bodies have to do is tune to light. Mental, emotionally, spiritually, physically, ethereally. Because beneath the words, there's tones, frequencies, feelings, emotions, mentalities. And you must be able to see beyond the manipulation. Okay? It's time to wake up. And I'm really just channeling this entire message today, you guys. I didn't know what I was going to say before I jumped on. I just decided to jump on. I haven't been on for a while. I've been on for about a couple weeks because of the immensity of these influxes of codes. So it's recalibrating me, and it's allowing me to see the timelines that are playing out. Like I said, I've seen the access point into Uluru, where we're accessing fragmented portions of Tiamat's consciousness. This is coming up through this Achamoth. Allow feminines to really start to decode the fragmentation of Tiamat. So feminines, this last couple weeks, your womb may be cramping or aching as if you're having a period, okay? But you're not, okay? The wombs are speaking at this time, and they are holding weight. They are holding a lot of weight. Okay, so like I said, intense emotional releases. The Achamoth, you may be feeling Tiamat. You may be feeling the fallen aspects of the Crystal Sophias if you are riding that descension of 3D down into the 2D. Like I said, there was a major timeline split at the solstice. So many people are going off into separate ways. If you're going down, you can't see up. If you're going up, you can't really see down. Okay? There's been disassociation, collective disassociation. And like I said, this has to do over the war of consciousness. This is between lunar consciousness, which is finite parasitic forms, is what they're calling it. This is where the negative agendas, aliens have seeded their intentions. This is more about, honestly, on a collective level, this is about ascended masters still not transcending ego. This is about inceptions in the false matrices into the galactic matrices, okay? This is about not understanding the organic timelines. Again, artificial timelines versus organic timelines. This is a raging 5D battle, people, okay? Lunar versus solar. This is the conflict of the eternal light forms. Okay? People forget that solar consciousness is light and death. Okay? So, take that for what it is. That should tell you that the duality and the polarity is in the lunar, and it's also in the solar. Okay? Like I said, polarizations within polarizations. Lunar is fighting for access to the genetic material in human bodies, for colonization, for the hive mind of the secret societies. This life extension, this slave labor, this indoctrination, this depopulation, okay? This is supposedly aspects of the lunar consciousness. I am not buying it anymore, okay? I'm just letting you know where I'm at. I'm not buying that anymore. Okay? Again, polarization within polarization. This is artificial timelines versus organic timelines. If you, and this is where it's splitting even more. Like I said, 3D, 5D splitting even more, okay? If you believe in organic timelines, you believe that the moon is natural. That the moon is a part of our cycles, our reproductions, our death and rebirth. That the moon is meant to be there. If you don't, you believe it's an artificial satellite. Okay? It's never one or the other. Everybody's either one or the other. That's splitting within the lunar consciousness, okay? That's freeing ourselves of this lunar consciousness war on consciousness versus solar consciousness will free all imprisoned consciousness at this time that is stuck in time, repeatedly recycled and enslaved. We have to free the imprisoned consciousness, and this is why those heard that call from the great below. Okay? People heard the call from the great below because they're going down there to clear the timelines and to do the work, to actually do the work. To have to figure out how to come from a place with no ego, and like I said, without pointing a finger and making the other person feel wrong. The human ego has to go to shift and to support the realities that each one needs to leave in order to ascend. Okay, each one of us has agreed to come here and do this. And there is no more victim. Our ego likes to be a victim. It wants to resist. It wants to judge. And be careful when you're complaining, because you are giving your power away to something outside of you. Okay, it's really important to simplify your life right now because of these splits. It's either going to support or it's going to deplete. It's dualistic. It's polarized within a polarization within each dimension. Okay, these are fragmented polarizations that are just continuing to split even more at this time. Like I said, this is going to be playing out till March. I'm just being honest with you, and I'm just having a chat, a quick energy update with you. I hope you don't mind my attitude today. I am in a strange place today. I am feeling realistic about these timelines, okay, and getting right internally. These heightened emotions we're all having, this is a part of the Akashic clearing. This is a part of us clearing the timelines. This is how the timelines clear, is they split, okay? The photonic light exacerbates this. The photonic light bends and distorts this on purpose because the old matrix has to distort you for you to see it. Because the photonic light gives you the ability to travel through your own consciousness and to see other realities. The Merkaba has to break down, and it has to restructure into a Stargate system, and you have to build and integrate all of these codes as your new foundation. It's where you're putting yourself out there. It's where you're contributing. The frequencies are to harmonize. and to clear the distortions. Atomic means that we are going nuclear inside. This is how high the 2222 codes are. When your body starts emitting plasma, you may have to take time to pull away because your body is going to go weak from this. Okay? The things that you could do, you can no longer do. You have to slow down and you have to start giving your body what it needs. This is about physical ascension. This is about bringing your body through. Okay? And many of us, like I said, heard the call from the great below. So we've gone down to work in the womb worlds. We've gone down to clear the dark mother templates. We've gone down to work with the fragmented portions of Tiamat that are in the dormant portions of the Earth's grids that was opened up at Uluru. I keep going back to that, but I'm just saying this is where many of us who heard the call from the below are emitting higher plasma because of the atomic number shifting into a higher number, okay, in the body. And this, we have to take time to pull away here because your body goes weak and you're not really going to be okay with this. Your physical body is going to struggle. You're going to struggle through this process. You have to get okay with letting go. You have to get okay with others getting upset. You have to get okay with others not understanding what you're going through, and you have to let it go because that's theirs. And as a galactic, we understand that we're here to do our mission, our purpose, our roles. And this does not mean you are unconscious if you split in the timelines, if your consciousness is fragmented and you are not able to see things in wholeness or the capacity of the multidimensionality. This does not mean that you are not ascended. You are not conscious, okay? We have to take time to pull the body through, okay? These are higher 2222 radial nuclear atomic codes that are coming into the planet right now. And we need to go offline, or we need to be in our bed to clear this programming, okay? So just take it slow. Take it easy out there, you guys. And we need to work through this war over consciousness and bringing things back into wholeness. People have lost hope. People have lost their ability to see how the guardians do not allow humanity to fully fall, okay? That the mass genocide programs are not going to work. That human consciousness will ascend and descend again. That it is history repeating. Know your history, okay? History repeats. In a new way, in a new timeline, in a new parallel. History is repeating. People are focusing on the colonized grid systems. This is how you know people are not up in 5D, they're not in 12D. Trust me. The higher consciousness community, that's not where people really are. Okay? They're oscillating between 3 and 6D frequencies. Okay? Those who are more of a time traveler, they're more of a interdimensional dweller, they're going to be going down in 1 and 2D, okay? There's an entire scale of where people are. It really doesn't matter. That's not the point. Okay, the point is that people are focusing on the enslavement, the colonization of the grid systems, the artificial timelines versus organic timelines, the lunar consciousness versus solar consciousness, economic terrorism, okay, exploiting other countries, exploiting earth vortices and portals, exploiting the gain of control over the power of these points and portals, invading, conquering. Okay? That's why people are settling in underground territories at this time. But essentially, quit allowing the inception. Again, quit allowing the inception. Just remember, the dimension is just a frequency. So if you change your frequency, you change the dimension that you're in, okay? So those who are down in 2D, it's time to shift up to higher timelines, higher realities, and just know we're working through a lot of that Dark Mother template. So we have the Lilith archetypes coming through, Achamoth. Okay, everyone, so just wanted to give you a galactic energy update. I love you all so much. You can find my services at indigoangel222.com. I should be getting some readings out here pretty soon and some more Patreon content. You can always join me on my Patreon, patreon.com/indigoangel. Thank you so much and have a beautiful day.